On this episode of Urban U, an undocumented immigrant from Senegal and CUNY student becomes a noteworthy educator who reaches the White House to advocate for DACA students. In our For the Record series this month, we take a look back at a revolutionary moment in video game history and the CUNY alum who guided it. And we take you on location to Washington Heights to find out what it was like being a background actor on the summer movie hit In the Heights. That and more CUNY stories. Welcome to Urban U. Astou Chon is a model Hunter College alum. Since graduating in 2015, she's built a decorated career in education.
I want to start though with my climax.
First as a teacher, then as an assistant principal in New York City. Today, she lives in Washington, D.C., where she is an education policy fellow at the U.S. Senate. Her noteworthy career recently granted her access to the White House. But the 28-year-old boils much of her success down to luck.
I felt like at 17, I had been sold a lie. I was told, go to school, work hard, get to college, and you'll kind of, have a good life for yourself. But no one really tells undocumented young people that college is in itself not very accessible unless you find yourself very, very lucky.
Chon immigrated from Senegal to Harlem, New York with her parents at the age of 7. As she was fluent in French and Wolof, it took her 6 months to learn English at a time when most of the resources for English language learners were for Spanish speakers. Later, she went on to attend Brooklyn Technical High School, one of the most prestigious specialized high schools in the country.
I think the opportunities that I got in terms of the education that I was exposed to, the classes and the teachers and the faculty really just kind of opened up my world.
But when it came time to begin the college application process, she was faced with unexpected challenges. Describe what it was like when you first found out that your immigration status would be a hindrance to you.
The forces of all the things that undocumented people interact with just really, I felt them for the first time as a 17-year-old. I came out to a staff member at the high school, asking for resources for students who didn't have a social, and it was not at all a positive or affirming experience. I was told that I couldn't go to college. I just felt like I had failed.
Turns out she was able to attend Hunter College, and there she studied political science and economics. Her mother, a single parent of 3, paid her tuition the first year.
I was very lucky to have grown up in New York City and to have lived in a city with a CUNY institution where tuition and affordable education at such a high quality was accessible in the norm.
By year 2, Chon received her DACA status. That is, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which grants undocumented people who were brought to the U.S. as children the right to have a driver's license, social security number, and a work permit.
I was able to just get a retail job and just work a lot of hours and got on a payment plan and got really good about finessing the CUNY payment plan. That fueled me to be intense in college about my education and just how hard I went in classes.
Once she finished, she signed on for Teach for America. There, she noticed that teachers weren't being trained to serve undocumented children or those who might have undocumented parents.
Picture this. I'm a teacher. I turn on the news and I see children in cages.
I just became an advocate for undocumented people, period. And specifically undocumented Black people who are further marginalized within a marginalized community. The narrative is that this is not a Black issue. This is a Latinx and a Mexican issue or a Central American issue. I felt compelled to push from within Teach for America to expand their programming and prep for these teachers that we send into these classrooms.
This summer, you met with President Joe Biden to discuss the DREAM Act. Can you talk a little bit about that meeting?
The DREAM Act itself is what would allow the Congress to change the immigration laws on the books that allow us to a pathway to citizenship. And so wanted to share that with President Biden and just from an educator point of view, name that it was not acceptable for us to tell our kids to pray. that they get lucky. I don't think the DREAM Act is the solution. There are other immigrants who are not dreamers, who are not brought here as young people, who every day wake up and work as essential workers, who also deserve relief and who also deserve to live a life free of living in the shadows.
For Urban U, Abby Ashola.
Millions of Americans are living safer lives after being vaccinated for COVID-19. The success of the mRNA vaccines has given researchers hope that the groundbreaking work might be a positive takeaway from the pandemic. It offers huge potential.
Certainly there were a lot of challenges and problems and issues, but there are also positive things that can come out of the pandemic because it can reveal some of the things that we need to address in society and science and all those different types of things. And one of those things has been the need for better ways to develop vaccines.
The magic of the mRNA technology or platform is that you can take a piece of whatever you're aiming to attack, like the spikes in the coronavirus molecule, or a tumor or bacteria, and introduce it to a molecule and then inject that. And it will tell the body, hey, this is not supposed to be here. And the body triggers its immune system to attack it.
The applications are potentially endless. You could really take any type of pathogen and do that. And you could do it in a very quick time, a short time period. And that's really, the whole world of possibilities that's opened up by this mRNA platform.
Scientists are looking into whether the mRNA platform, which had been in development for about a decade, could be used to tackle a number of health issues, ranging from HIV to Parkinson's disease to cancer. One thing researchers have been trying to do is to develop immunotherapy, meaning trying to get your body to recognize cancer cells and use your immune system to get rid of them.
If you can find key proteins or key differences on those cancer cells, that you can then take the mRNA and say, okay, this is the blueprint for this protein that's on this cancer cell, and then get your cells to produce that specific protein and then stimulate your immune system to help fight the cancer cells. There's definitely that potential. So the key is, can you find those special proteins that are on cancer cells that your immune system can target?
We're not just talking theory here. It looks like this has worked in the case of Molly Cassidy, a mother from Arizona. Molly was diagnosed with neck and head cancer, and nothing was working for her. She'd been told she didn't have long to live and to get her affairs in order. But her doctor, Julie Ballman, asked if she wanted to take part in a clinical trial. They injected her with mRNA, and she's doing much better now. Her scans show she's cancer-free.
I'm sure companies and of course academic laboratories that work in proliferative disease are making great efforts to do this.
Pharmaceutical companies are in some cases teaming up to work on the research. In a statement, Regeneron told us they use their trademark VelociSuite technologies to create therapeutic intervention. We have used these technologies to develop life-transforming medicines across therapeutic areas. We have also used VelociSuite to develop our 30 investigational medicines that are currently in clinical trials for a wide range of diseases.
While scientists aren't willing to say that mRNA technology will offer us a cure for cancer or some of these other diseases in the immediate future, they do say the technology offers a lot of promise.
Platforms and methods, but first, we have to understand the mechanism of the illness itself before we can treat it.
In the meantime, the work continues in the battle to wipe out cancer using knowledge gained from creating the COVID vaccines.
But if you're in a situation where you can get a lot more targeted therapy is one of the keys for cancer in the future. That's really the holy grail.
I'm Mike Gilliam for Urban U.
I talk about it all the time going through my public school experience of being bullied, called the D student, the dumb student, of crying myself to sleep at night, of wondering why I couldn't learn, and eking out a D to get out of Bayside High School and going to a community college, taking a remedial course, sitting in a library and overhearing another student listening to a documentary on learning disabilities. I took out the documentary and looked at it and leaned back in the chair and said, darn it, I have a learning disability. And when I got the help that I needed, I went from a D student to being on the dean's list throughout my college experience. But I was lucky. I was a lucky one.
Still up on Urban U, a CUNY alum who was instrumental in the development of major technological innovations that would change the gaming industry forever. And a trip to Washington Heights, where we chat with a background actor for the hit summer movie In the Heights. Stay tuned.
Cats and dogs. It's possible that no two animals could be on more opposite ends of the animal kingdom, but the Thinking Dog Center at Hunter College recently pursued a study involving cats.
Why are we doing cat research at the Thinking Dog Center? Should we rebrand? Do we need to rename ourselves? What's going on? In general, we're interested in companion animal behavior, but we thought, why not take advantage of the fact that people are working from home and are with their companion animals, and their cats are there. And this is a fantastic environment in which to be able to assess their cognitive abilities.
The idea for the study came from a feline phenomenon reported by many cat owners online that's been hashtagged, "If I fits, I sits." It's led to a ton of YouTube videos, one funnier than the other, of cats, well, being cats. The study was run by Gabriella Smith.
I got to my apartment and started playing with my roommate's cat, and I thought, well, the internet told me that cats sit in squares, and I wonder if there's an optical illusion that looks like a square, and will cats sit in it?
But there's more to it than just cat comedy and funny antics. Smith explains the cognitive science behind the study.
There's this very bizarre transition between the 3D box and, your Amazon delivery comes and the cat's in it immediately, and then that makes a lot of sense evolutionarily for protective reasons or comfort reasons, but why it translates to the 2D shape, the internet has investigated, but had never really been scientifically looked into.
And so the Thinking Dog Center entered a whole new realm of citizen science. In the past, participants would bring their dogs to the center to participate in a study. This time, the study was delivered to their homes.
So we emailed packets after people signed up via a survey. So it's a piece of paper. And so they would receive the 4 Pac-Men and they would receive the 4 straight lines of the square.
That provided the cats with 3 possible options to sit in. First option, a literal square on the floor. Second option, the illusion of a square created by the Pac-Man shapes. This one is called a Knizia square. And option number 3, the Pac-Man facing outwards. This one is called the Knizia control. After sifting through hours and hours of footage, the study results produced some very clear conclusions. The cats had a strong preference for the tape square and the Knizia illusory square. Do we have any further hypotheses as to why those two winners were the winners?
So they likely are attracted to sitting or standing within contours, whether they are illusory or literal in nature, because the Knizia control didn't create that. And so, yeah, it's this attraction to an outline of sorts.
And while this cat study is over, the Thinking Dog Center says there might be more in the future. They're now recruiting for a study for cat and dog owners to analyze the relationship between humans and their pets. You can find out more by scanning the QR code on your screen or by Googling Thinking Dog Center Hunter College. I'm Andrew Falzone for Urban U.
Hey there, I'm Crystal. I go to BMCC and I'm a CUNY Student Food Navigator. 40,000 CUNY students are now eligible to receive SNAP, which means that you might be eligible. A student food navigator like myself can help you look at the application process and answer any questions that you might have. Text food to 855-230-6746 for more info about SNAP, and we'll figure it out together.
Today, we reshape the world.
You're the best special forces NATO has to offer.
If you've ever answered the Call of Duty, or saved Princess Peach, or just eaten Blinky, Inky, and Pinky, you probably owe a debt of gratitude to Jerry Lawson, who was instrumental in the development of 3 major technological innovations that would change the gaming industry forever: the game cartridge, the pause button, and the digital joystick. Raised in Queens, Lawson was a child prodigy in electronics, operating his own ham radio station by age 13. And by 1968, Jerry Lawson would take his talents to what would become Silicon Valley, where he would become a giant in the gaming industry. Standing at 6'6", Lawson was literally almost a giant over most of his peers at that. But Lawson had a habit of bucking trends. In an industry comprised largely of white, college graduate technophiles, he was one of the only black engineers in the industry. And while he did attend both Queens College and City College for a time, he never received a degree. Always the prodigy, Lawson was self-taught. At the time, the few home video game systems of the early 70s were pre-programmed. They came with a few games baked into the hardware, and that was that. But as an engineer at Fairchild Camera and Instrument, Lawson and his team had the eureka moment, developing a console that allowed you to play unlimited games, just with the swap of a cartridge, the Fairchild Channel F in 1976. While we take changing games now for granted, it was revolutionary at the time, as was its rather handy hold mechanism, the first pause button, and the first digital joystick with 8 directions at your control.
Plug in a new video cart and change the fun. Play tic-tac-toe, shooting gallery, or just doodle. Switch video carts and play Desert Fox. Channel F, the one with all the fun.
Sadly, the direction of the Fairchild Company itself was less fortunate, and in 1977 they were eclipsed by the Atari 2600. Which would become the standard bearer of the video game boom of the late 70s and early 80s, but not without taking a cue from the innovations of Jerry Lawson and the Channel F. With the video game crash of the mid-80s, Lawson had largely gotten out of the industry, and it wouldn't be until this last decade that his accomplishments began to become more celebrated. In a bittersweet finale, Lawson would die just a month after finally being honored as an industry pioneer by the International Game Developers Association. But in the years since, his posthumous reputation would only grow. An Xbox Gaming Hero Award at the Independent Games Festival, a Netflix documentary feature, and now, just this year, the establishment of the Gerald A. Lawson Endowment at the University of Southern California to fund Black and American Indian students' careers in gaming, ensuring that his legacy lives on for the next generation of video game innovators. For the record, I'm Ari Goldberg.
Let me just listen to my block.
on Washington Heights. Up at the break of day, I wake up and I got this little punk I gotta chase away. Pop the grate at the crack of dawn, sing while I wipe down the awning. Hey, y'all, good morning.
Have you ever wanted to be in the movies? Well, Delise Perez Cabasas got to cross it off her bucket list when she became an extra on Lin-Manuel Miranda's film, In the Heights. Transferred from Broadway to the screen, the summer hit shows life and the people of Washington Heights, and that's where we caught up with Delise.
In Washington Heights. I'm not an actor, but I thought it would be fun to be in a movie about my neighborhood. You know, it's a primarily Dominican immigrant neighborhood, and there was a real sense of community growing up here. So it's just very much a part of who I am.
We asked her what it was like to be an extra on the film.
I was so excited because, you know, we love movies in my family, and when I was a kid, you know, the only thing we saw that was like about Latinos that was a musical was West Side Story, and there was only one Latina in the whole film, right? So they put me first with an older gentleman and had us walking up and down the street while they're filming that scene where the folks are flipping from off the benches. Then they moved us later up here to the platform where I was standing with two other extras, and then one of the sort of principal actresses comes in between our legs and looks down. I was just amazed by the dancing. You're sitting there and watching those poor dancers have to do this thing over and over, and they seemed happy.
Delise was also there when they shot the big pool scene.
Let's be clear, I was like, you all aren't paying me enough to jump into this pool. I have a whole nother job where I get a full-time salary. There's no way I'm jumping in this pool. But I was impressed. The actors had to get in and dancers had to do a whole number in that freezing pool. And so in solidarity, a couple of the principal actors, including Lin-Manuel, just jumped in the pool with them.
And that's not all Lin-Manuel did.
It was raining one day and we were filming at Highbridge Pool, and we had to come back, and Lin-Manuel came in and stood there, and every extra came and got to like shake his hand and talk to him. I mean, just a very kind of nice feel of doing the film and the sense of community that we had.
Why did you really want your two young daughters, I think your daughters are 8 and 6, to see a film like this?
So much of real equality is about representation. I wanted them to see people that look like their community, to see them represented in film. There's nothing like the potential that they get now with, maybe I can do that, right? Which, you know, it's hard when you're a young person and everyone you see no one you see on television or film looks like you, or if they do, they're playing maids or criminals. So I wanted them to see folks portraying positive roles.
Would you do it all again?
I would absolutely do it all again. It was fun. It was fun not knowing if I was going to show up in the film. It was fun getting to see what happens behind the scenes when they make a film. I would definitely do it again. I feel like it's a love letter to our neighborhood, and that makes me happy. I ain't gonna say it twice. Turn up the street lights. We taking the flight to a couple of days in the life for what it's like in Washington Heights.
Thank you for watching. And in the spirit of holidays, we leave you with a Rhapsody of Gershwin, brought to you by On Stage at Kingsborough, a world-class performance arts center in Brooklyn that strives to create an environment where the arts are an accessible and integral part of life, a community gathering place for breathtaking performances. Hope you enjoy the recent performance by Grammy nominee Nicole Zeritis and the Matt Baker Trio. See you in the new year with more stories from the nation's largest urban university, the City University of New York.
Here, look at me and smile. I'll understand. Then in a little while, he take my hand, and though it sounds absurd, I know we both won't say a word. Maybe I shall meet him Sunday Still I'm sure to meet him someday, maybe Tuesday. Maybe Tuesday will be my good news day. Look at me and smile, I understand. And in a little while he'll take my hand. And so there's a bird